I wanted to start this with, because the title says, is early access worth it? I want to put the question is, how many of you actually have bought the Epic or will? So I'll say, have you or will you be in early access?
Do we have any Epic gamers in the chat? Are you heroic gamer? Or are you?
Yeah, so I've started a poll, so please answer that at your leisure. But I have, there's a lot of people saying I got it. Yep, have not, will not. See, there's a lot of people going, yes, I will have it and I want it, etc. And then there's a lot of people who won't buy it or haven't got it. Comes from a principle perspective. Comes from a early access. As I saw a lot of you talking about it in the pre-chat, there's a lot of, no, early access for an MMO is scummy shithead behavior and I will not support it.
Yeah, I can't believe Yoshi P did that to us. Irredeemable bastard.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And people brought this up the last time we had that discussion. People brought up that they didn't charge extra for that. That was just a pre-order bonus. But over here, Blizzard say give us more money to play early, which makes it very, very different. Very different. And yeah, I come from that ain't worth 30 to 40 extra euros
well,
stance.
You know what?
Well, it's not extra 30 to 40 euros, you see, because you actually also get a month of game time, so it's actually subsidized a little bit, all that stuff, It's a little bit of that. And then you have the obviously, sorry for working and being able to buy it approach.
Well, you see, here's the thing. Japanese stock market just got spooked. American stock market, strong as ever. Yoshi P doesn't charge for early access. Blizzard Entertainment does charge from early access. American exceptionalism wins again.
Sure.
There we go.
Sure. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it, absolutely.
I unfortunately must confess to being an Epic gamer. Unfortunately, Matt is also an Epic gamer, and I think our whole team are Epic gamers because it would be very silly of us to not have access to the War Within as soon as we can. Even though we could technically just keep on playing in the beta. I wonder when
if they don't pull it.
Yeah, when will they pull the beta servers down?
Which is actually something that I'm a little bit worried about because I have a lot of things I still need to do on beta.
Yep, same.
Because obviously, the season doesn't launch until September 10th in about 7 calendar years. It feels that way.
Just upload the beta build to ChatGPT.
Fantastic.
There we go.
That'll work.
Yes, use their new gamer plugin. You don't even have to play games anymore. You just have to prompt. Things. Let's talk about release. The 22nd. Mm-hmm. And time. And this is this is a freak thing that's happening at a very, an increasing cadence. I keep on becoming a little bit green, a little bit jealous over the Australians.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm beginning to realize it seems like they have a pretty good quality of life over there. And even worse, they have their video game come out at 8 a.m.
8 a.m., yeah, that's brutal. Whereas we, absolute morons living in British summertime, 11 o'clock at night. Which is, that's, you want to do some DJing gaming, right? You want to play a good, let's say a good 16 hours straight. Because you're that kind of person. And maybe you don't have the stamina for that anymore. That's okay. But you do that over in Sydney or do that in Seoul or wherever else, you're fine. You take your day off work, you tell your friends and family to go away or something less polite, and then you play for 16 hours, go to bed, happy enough. But then it's us, it's like, oh yeah, well, you're going to play for an hour and go to bed?
Well, you can't do that in Seoul because you've got to work 85 days a week.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So,
of course
so it's really probably only the Aussies.
Yeah.
And for everyone, as sometimes people here would say, for everyone in the continent.
The continent. I love that.
Yeah. Midnight server time. So it's a global release. You know what? Pretty good for all of our American friends. You guys get to play at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. And then, of course, the global release times are all the exact same, but just a few days later. Now, the thing is, what can you actually do during early access? And turns out, Mezzy here has made a big graph.
Beautiful. Let me just make sure that's not being too obscured. That is being very obscured, but it's fine. Dear. You know what the dungeons are. It's fine.
Yes. So, basically, heroic dungeons, no. Normal dungeons, yes. Delves beyond tier 3? No. Delves with gear that can be upgraded? No. Heroic dungeons with gear that can be upgraded? No. Gear upgrades? No. World quests? No. World events? No. Have I got most of it? Battlegrounds? No.
Yeah.
Bloody tokens? No. Honor? Capped to 4,000. I think I've got most.
Yeah.
I was writing stuff for this for our site a little bit ago. Yeah, basically, the point is, play. This is shocking. This is shocking. So, the bit that's like the big expensive game bit, that's all there. Basically, this is weird. You get to play the pretty much the whole game, but without the treadmill bit at the end. Go have fun.
For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
You can do a little bit of it in PvP, but not very much, which is that kind of awkward thing.
Yeah, so basically, just you can level, you can get your hero talents, you can, get to level 80. I'm not 100% sure about the war with... I don't know about the end game campaign. I have to imagine that's kept behind.
That's a good question. I think they are pacing that I heard they're pacing that endgame out over the first couple of weeks, I think.
Okay.
I think. Just because it would make sense, because they are trying to tell this as a story, right? So is this thing that they decided to put in an MMO for some reason? I don't know why. It's a kind of new thing. It's called a story, I think. So they put that in the game. And I think... something tells me they're going to pace that a little bit over the first couple of weeks until the raid launches.
Yep.
Just I don't think you can zerg it all. Not super sure on that. Profession knowledge points. Yeah, I think that falls under profession weeklies. Anything that's going to actually give you what is considered permanent progress is actually gated behind that first weekly reset.
Yep. So if your entire game plan was to buy the game on launch day, level up before the first weekly reset, because it used to be, I think they killed it last time, but people could level so fast they could actually double dip in the weekly by basically capping their character, finishing the weekly wrapper quest, and then the first reset of the expansion would begin. I guess the other thing as well, the Great Vault will be closed.
Yeah.
Now, all of this, by the way, is basically good, because I know that some people will see all this and think, oh my god, I can't do things. But it's very important for the sake of fairness, and that seems to be something they're extending to the gear. So you can get eye level 541 from normal dungeons, and I think 554 from a tier 3 delve. Non-upgradable. Now, when you get that gear later on, it will be upgradable, of course, but during the early access period, it won't be upgradable, which basically means you can get your character ready in a sense, but for gear that, you'll actually perhaps take with you, like that stuff doesn't really matter. And that's obviously good for the sake of fairness.
Yeah, the thing that's really kind of weird about it, more than anything else, is... How do I put this? They've taken the point of early access away in a huge way. In a way that's like kind of fair. And obviously you kind of go, well, obviously that's fair, right?
Well, that's why it's hilarious.
Yeah,
they're giving you early access, but when we hear early access, we don't think about early access.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. So like I kind of praise them on with one hand, going, good job, you aren't charging, you aren't going to let people who have more money or more gold get ahead. There you go, wonderful. At the same time, you're like, what are you charging us for then? You're charging us for leveling time, which is still going to be important for people who have a whole bunch of alts. Now, they have done quite a lot to actually kill profession bonuses for having a bunch of alts. They've actually done a lot of good work to get rid of that. Which is going to be like, people who want the experience of getting ahead aren't going to be able to get that.
Yep.
Which means it's not going to feel worth it in any capacity. That's what I kind of think is interesting.
What they're really selling is that you can enjoy playing the expansion, doing the story, leveling your characters this weekend.
Yeah.
That's the sell.
That, and also if you want to take your time with the story a little bit more, you can do that. Obviously, that's already baked in terms of the season starting later, but you look at weekly quests, world quests, profession stuff a day after the game launches.
Yeah.
And I think No, I don't think this is going to be a big deal, right? I don't think this is a big deal at all. But I do think that this is a little bit of a slap in the face to like the sacred launch window. But I'm saying that from the perspective of also, thank God.
Can't believe it. Ian, you've slapped the sacred window. Oh, no.
Yeah, so remember Warlords of Draenor or Cataclysm or Miss Pandaria
Yes.
or Wrath of Lich King
Yep.
or Burning Crusade. Basically, remember any expansion that wasn't Legion or BFA? Yeah, turns out they're splitting now. Obviously, I'll keep the poll rolling, but at the minute, the answer to have you or will you be in early access, 59% of you, of about 1,800 votes, have said yes. 41% have said no.
I've seen similar
yeah.
on people doing YouTube community post polls.
I've seen it on Twitter polls as well.
And Twitter,
So we
yeah.
seem to be leaning a little bit towards that 60% to 40%.
That's a good sales mix.
Yeah, it's a good sales mix. And it's also, you've just put, how many players are going to be in there at the peak that's going to crush your servers? Oh, you've just changed that. You've just removed a massive launch day nightmare by doing this. Because obviously they also had the, they've avoided splitting people up at the start. This is, everyone is on the shore of the Isle of Dorne. And that was going to be a problem. So there's a couple of different things like that I'm not saying this is really the wonderful, brilliant genius of Blizzard Entertainment to solve this problem, because there's other ways they could do it, and they could also just make the servers work.
Yeah, it also hasn't been
about.
as much of a problem in the
Yeah.
past. Dragonflight definitely needed a bit more QA and bug fixing, but I think in terms of servers falling over,
DF and Shadowlands were both really good on that front. Despite everyone being funneled through the maw, it
what's
was
the
still
one
good.
that was a disaster?
Was what?
I remember.
What was the
Oh yeah, I remember
substantial
what
disaster?
was a disaster, but there was one where if you were in Draenor EU, I think it was just okay. I was in Draenor AU and I spent half of my launch night playing Mountain Blade Warband. So I have to assume that there were server lock-in problems.
You know what, Frankenberry? You're right. I did forget about the boat. Remember the Dragonflight boat?
The
That
dragon,
literally-
that's what it was, the boat.
They had
Yes.
to turn the boat off and use the portal instead. That's right.
Yep, that's good.
That's right.
So overall, is it worth it? Basically, that's up to you.
It's a value judgment,
it's worth it to us for very obvious reasons. If I wasn't doing this, it would entirely depend for me on the weekend, where if I had a free and clear weekend, then hell yeah, I probably would get that. And I suppose that's why they're pricing. I don't want to say it. It's tricky, because obviously I would rather this wasn't a thing. For the abundance of clarity. No. It's better without any of this. But it's always when you say something and follow it up with "but," you sort of do shoot your point in the head before you've even spoken it. I suppose the point is they are targeting people with different value propositions in the same way that a film would come out, and maybe there'd be day one streaming. And I'm sure many now departed directors are spinning in their graves and whatever. But most of us would look at rent this movie $17.99, and we'd think that's absolutely ghastly. But then other people will look at that and think, oh, that's a lot cheaper than 4 tickets for my for me and the kids or whatever. So I'm just rambling about value propositions, aren't I? Yeah. Basically, there's a bunch of people who will, if they have that weekend free, they'll obviously pay more money to access thing now.
Yeah.
Because also work.
Yeah.
If it doesn't disrupt your your work time.
There is also just having it earlier. People want thing.
Yeah.
People want thing now. That's literally an insane amount of, why FOMO drives sales and all this. Because obviously you think of the MMO and go, oh, well, people want into the shared experience faster for benefits. But it's also loads of games will turn around and go, we're going to give you 3 days early access. You all right over there?
I'm just imagining the advert. Do you want access to the shared experience for benefits? Pre-order now. There's a sort of a, I don't know, it's good generic shitpost marketing. So early access, is it worth it? That's basically up to you.
Yeah, the answer is probably, I don't know. For me, yes, but
would it be worth it to me in the past? No. Would it be worth it to me now? Yes.
That's a very good point. If you transplant this to like TBC or Wrath, it'd be a very different story.
Oh, I'm not
that's,
buying. Yeah, I'm
that's
not buying
because
that
of the general wealth of the player base, as obviously as you see by all of the extra monetization they do via cosmetics and things like that, which is different from the past.
Yep. The early access would only be worth it to me if it was a winter release, there was snow outside, and I could edit the BBC website to say that my school was closed, and then show my parents the website and be like, look, Mum and Dad, no school! Cataclysm. Which is what I did in Cataclysm, which, was kind of needed because, man, the initial loving experience of Cataclysm was pretty long.
Yeah.
I remember, because that was the first time that they'd compressed it, and the only time, thankfully, they compressed it into 5 levels. Level 84.
Brutal.
That was hard times. So, there you go, early access. Honestly, I'm personally, big excited. As has now been revealed, this is, sorry, I was thinking of, because they're not a thing over here at all. But I know in America people do gender reveal parties. I keep on remembering all of the, the news stories of these people inadvertently created a pipe bomb for their gender reveal party.
Yeah, I've far too many of those, man. Far too
now
many.
That of course we've published the choosing a main video. And I've done my main character reveal and thankfully not accidentally built a pipe bomb and killed myself. I'm quite looking forward to just leveling up characters. And I suppose, right, if you want to hyper game it, big gamer, big hyper gamer, you do get a 5% XP boost for every character you get to level 80, capped at 5. With 5 characters, 25% boost. So I'm probably going to be just getting characters ready. I obviously want to do that in a way that's not burning out or anything like that. It'll be interesting to see how the XP is balanced though, because there's such a difference in how many campaign quests there are to side quests.
Yeah.
I remember you found somebody had I think they pulled data from the API or whatever. And it was just the raw number of quests. And if you just looked at the campaign, you're just going to think Holly, where's 2/3 of the expansion gone? And then you look at the number of side quests and it's absolutely big. And it turns out that's where the rest of the expansion is. So I'm also wondering, can I level up 3 characters and have mostly distinct experiences? What happens if I just do a generalist playthrough in character 1? And then in character 2, decide I'm going to 100% every side quest in the first 2 zones, and then maybe in character 3, 100% in the other 2 zones. Would that be enough for me to get 3 decently distinct experiences? I don't know. I haven't tested it. We'll see.
I think so.
Good.
I think so. I'm not super sure where, so I haven't actually tested the adventure mode. I'm not sure if they level bracket off later zones or not, or if you can just bounce into Ashgahed.
Do
7
they
do stuff?
Because there is to call it adventure mode.
Yeah, it's still called that, I think.
The threads of fate.
They say something along those lines when you hit, in the same way when you hit 80, it goes adventure mode. You can do world quests on your alts now before finishing the campaign.
Brackets, they don't exist yet.
Yeah, exactly. So before we move on, I did want to say one last thing that was kind of in my head. I've seen people talk about it, and it is the fact that this is maybe not an expansion that's going to be releasing in the cleanest of forms. Now, I have nothing to go on outside of the fact that the last patch bricked the game, this patch bricked the game, and beta has had bugs that are really funny that have been there the whole time.
But Matt, if you want to build a wall, you need bricks.
Yeah. So if all these guys do these days is whine, 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 whiners. Have we been whining at all? I don't think so. I think we've been pretty.
I mean,
this.
Matt, you've been talking about bricks, but not in the context of construction.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're like, this patch, dead. Last patch, dead. This expansion, doomed.
That is true, but it does come from a very. Could you maybe, if you're trying to get early access to the expansion, do please be aware that there is a decent chance it's not super, super, super clean and clear and under control.
Well, it's
or
good
whatever the
because
clear salad was.
for such a long time, Americans have beta tested patches for the first 12 hours, whereas with early access, global release, we all get to be your beta testers, as well as also doing the beta test and the alpha test.
So I was doing a delve today, right? And Bran, I died because I'm bad at the game. And then Bran left my party.
Yeah,
And then
serves you right.
And then it's just like it happens sometimes where he'll leave.
The Bran AI is too good.
Like they'll despawn him and then they'll respawn him in. And sometimes when he spawns in, he doesn't join your party. He's there, but he's not in your party.
Yeah.
So you don't see the unit frame to like heal him or support him or anything. It's just like, well, I guess Bran just went, this scrub? No, thank you.
Yeah, Microsoft evidently didn't fire their AI ethics committee. They just moved to the Blizzard team to protect Bran from you.
Class. Very good. Very good. Ah, dear me.
Something for early access. There'll be a little bit of leveling up Bran and doing those things, but it's a little bit limited by you only being able to do the first 3 tiers of Delve, which isn't really a bad thing because, implications, gearing and stuff. I have seen some people say that bountiful Delves may be a way to get some good gear during our early access, but
I don't imagine they'll be turned on.
Yeah,
Also-
I 100% imagine bountiful Delves will not be on for that.
Also, the vast majority of your keys for Bountiful Delves come from World Quests, which won't be turned on. So,
There you go. Yeah.
there you have it.
Overall, I am excited.
As I was telling you before stream,
Fairly raring to go.
am excited, but with the asterisk that I've done so much of it on beta that I'm only really interested in the season. Now, I haven't been like those crazy M+ pushers who literally treat beta like it's a full season.
It's pre-season.
Like they actually like just trying to do some testing and stuff. The fucking groups I've been in, dude. People are almost more toxic on beta than they are on live. It's crazy. Anyway, that's the kind of thing where I like the early access. Whatever, I'll play it. That'll be great. It's fine. Launch, same, excellent. But the game doesn't really start for me until the season starts, which is funny because I'm not like a big seasonal gamer. It's just like I've done all the stuff that isn't that kind of, which is awkward. But
Yeah, I see that. That's it's the downside of testing. It's why actually whenever Blizzard were heavily pushing the monetization of beta access, my main message to everyone is, for the love of God, don't pay money to enjoy the game less when it comes out. Because that's like an inherent part of our job risk. The thing that will be different though, full implementation of music, cinematics being not being encrypted. So I've got to imagine there'll be a few surprises. Hopefully a little bit more than because I remember that happened with Shadowlands, and it was just Prince Renethal got jobbed.
Who?
Your man, we Prince mate. Small Denathrius.
Yeah, I know.
So that'll bring us stuff. I'm looking forward to it.